Welcome, Funke.
Oh, thank you.
It's nice to have you on our show today.
It's nice to be here.
Funke, you're an electronic engineer. What is that? What do you do?
Correct.
I like that.
You're probably one of the first people to actually get that right, to be honest.
I know.
Okay, so my background is electronics engineering with microwave engineering, which means designing gigahertz signals or more than RF signals, really, to put it lightly. But electronics is based on designing, and we also do the manufacturing as well. So we do designing of the software, of the hardware, and also the assembly.
Okay, assembling
of it depends. It could be any equipment. Really, I started off with like more digital electronics.
Okay.
And in every equipment that you have nowadays, you have digital electronics chipsets in them. So starting off with like assembly language and designing like, I don't want to go so technical because you will not understand like JK flip-flops and stuff like that.
Even did you see the look on my face?
Yes.
This
can get a bit confusing.
This sounds more to me like a role that you usually find men in.
It's not usually that. It's well, predominantly men, a man's field. But then I like to do the difficult things. So I don't tend to go the easy way.
And have you found that really challenging?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I mean, it builds your character as well. I found it very difficult even from the university.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like when you have a lecturer that actually feels that women are not meant to be there, and you know that you need to pass his module to be able to actually graduate, then you fight. You know, and the fighting is not being vocal. I always say, you know, just prove that you can do this and you're good. Yeah. And that is exactly what I did. I proved to him that I was actually good and I was meant to be on the course, and that was what I did. Yeah,
that's very important, because being vocal doesn't necessarily mean you can perform. Does
it takes away the result.
Yes.
You know, what people need to see. So being vocal can come out as being defensive in so many ways, but you know, actually proving that you can do it in your ways and your deeds is actually more productive.
So in 2008 you started working on the product Wave Palm.
Yeah, so I started in 2008. So
2009 something happened to you. Would you like to share that with us?
Yes. So 2008, you know, the idea, in fact, the company was actually started 2007, that's Wavelength.
Okay.
So, you know, there were quite a few things going on. I actually wanted to really go deep into microcontrollers, you know, and build like some chipsets and stuff like that. And then things started to go a different turn, and, you know, in fact, the tablet piece of my daughter is the one that came up with the name. My niece, Wave Palm. Okay. They kind of like deliberated on that. And I was like, okay, so yeah, that's good. And I thought, you know, I can translate this into different languages. Like in Nigeria, I can say Atelewo. And you know, those kind of things. Because it's
always in your.
You know, so they're different. You know, so I thought, wow, that's interesting. So, but. We started working, and then my husband actually saw the vision as well, because I actually sat him down. I said, you know what, this thing is bigger than me. There's no way I can do this thing by myself. I need him to back me. And even without me, I didn't have to explain anything. He saw the vision. And I remember one day I came back from, I came back from somewhere, and there was this builder that was in the house. And then I was like, oh, what do we need him for? Because we've already done everything that we needed to do. And he said, that what we spoke about, that he was thinking of changing, him building a shed, an office, so bringing the shed down and building a total, a proper office and an assembly unit to aid that. And that, I thought, you know. So unfortunately, 2009, I had a big blow. My husband passed away, and that kind of like just, you know, changed the dynamics of things. I mean, I didn't so much care so much about the business as such, you know. It was like I'd give up anything to have him back. And so so that's having to have a child to actually raise around that.
I was going to say, you have a daughter, don't you?
As well, and she was at a tender age of 4.
Oh wow!
So I was grieving as well. So it was quite hard. Yeah.
And what kind of support did you get when that happened to you?
Obviously, like I said, and I tend to I think I'm always like the best candidate. Sometimes I feel so that to speak to fellow bereaved women because they get you. And I get them, and I know what to say, and I not that I'm coasting what to say, but I just know what needs to be said. I know the temperament, how to actually manage it, and so I had obviously the first couple of months you'll have loads of people around, people that you probably had never seen before in your life, So my house was full. I had a lot of people, and people that I'm thankful for those people that came, because everybody has a reason. They have their mission, for whatever stage that they need to actually fulfill. So people came. The house was filled up every day. And after the burial, I think reality set in. Yeah. But for me, after the burial, I've got an amazing brother-in-law and an amazing sister-in-law, so I'm so blessed with them. Okay. They planned that to go away with my child. Okay. And so immediately after the burial, I went away and spent like 3 weeks or thereabouts away. And so I think that I didn't see the drastic change until I came back.
Yeah, when the house was
So when I came back, in fact, I remember having a panic attack at the airport. Wow. Because I didn't want to get on the plane because I was feeling that I was coming back, and it was almost like you're living in denial that this has happened. So you're thinking that when you come back, it's going to be real. I'm still on holiday, so it's still not real. And I remember that I cried through, and Virgin Atlantic was like saying that, if I'm still like this, they wouldn't take me on the plane because I was crying, I was in distress. And so we came back, and reality set in, and there were no, people were not there. People that you expect to be there were not there.
That does happen in life, doesn't it?
It does happen, but I think it's just the selfishness of man in most cases, or so not say selfishness, self-centeredness of man in most cases. And it is fine because, like, for some people, they will have that support, that they'll have that rounded support. But for people that God has set aside for His glory to shine, He wants to take absolute glory. So if there's one person that is going to take that glory, it might stop it from happening. So I think to me, that's how I had a few friends that flew in from Nigeria, flew in from Canada to come and see me. And, I really appreciate them, and they're very dear to my heart.
But then that comes that time where everybody leaves, isn't it? And then it's just you.
Absolutely. And it happened drastically in the first year. And it happened drastically. I mean, like, there's some bodies as well that you expect to have the support. The support were just not there. They were not there. And today, I'm grateful that it happened the way it did. Obviously, it was very tough. It was very painful. But I'm glad because, like, it's not a case of calling names. It's just saying, thank you, Jesus. Glory to God for what He has, because He alone has been faithful.
I know at times when you've had a bereavement, especially when you've got a child, there seems to be a lot of focus on you as the person who's had the bereavement. But then I think at times we tend to forget that besides that, you dealing with yourself, you've also got a child that you have to support, to try, and especially a 4-year-old girl who knows, I used to see Dad, where's Dad? Tell us a bit about that.
That's really an amazing question. I tell you, it's I think you know, you just rounded it up perfectly, because I don't think people actually get that it's not only you. So it's like you're dealing with two different situations. You're dealing with yourself, and then you're grieving on behalf of the child.
That's also,
in fact, it's actually three. You're grieving on behalf of the child, and then you're feeling pain for that child. So you're carrying all that in you. I remember I went to see my GP because like my blood pressure went up, and my GP was like, whatever that you are praying to, that because I know that you're a believer, you believe, he's a Sikh, that you believe. He said, whatever you're praying to, Gina, just keep on doing it. So just keep on, just hold on to that thing, because I couldn't sleep, and they were going to give me like sleeping tablets. I've never taken sleeping tablets in my entire life, and I personally don't like having anything to control me. So in sense of like medication. So even if it's Panadol, I'll try to like see if I can do without it. You know?
I don't want anything in me.
Yeah. So please take Panadol if you have to. But, and he was going to like give me sleeping tablets, which he did. First night I slept because I couldn't sleep at all. You know, and I had people that came. You know, there are people, like I said earlier, and I'm thankful for those people that were there at the time, because God placed them there for a reason. I had people that came to sleep overnight because I couldn't be by by myself. I had, so that went on for some time, you know, and I'm grateful for that. Even if it was 1, 2, 3 days, I'm absolutely grateful. I mean, I remember that there's a picture in my mind of one lady that came and was feeding me.
Oh, wow.
And she never came to my house again, but I still have that picture, and I'm grateful for that woman. You know, I'm grateful that she, you know, because I still have, so that's what I'm saying, that there's, God places you in different roles.
Absolutely.
But it's just that the people over time that you meant to be your friend, or people that you've invested in, you expect
some kind of result.
And you know, people say don't expect. I'm like, you know, why would I not expect something from it? Too much. To whom much is given, much is expected. So yeah, you know.
Okay.
So going back to your question.
Go on. That was what I was going to ask. In terms of supporting your daughter, also, as long as yourself, you've got your own emotional, you know, battle you're dealing with, and also supporting your daughter.
Correct. Yeah. So so I had to deal with my own emotion, my own health, and all of that, you know, and also to accommodate my own daughter's pain, because I want to carry her pain, because there's some questions that she was asking. I mean,
there was a particular question you said she asked, isn't it, about bringing her dad back?
Yeah, because she's like, you know, so Mom, because she knew that we'd spoken about trying for a child around, you know, another child around there, and she was like, oh, so you know that. What about the child? How am I going to get a sister or a brother? And I said, I couldn't answer that. And she said, oh, I want my dad to come down from heaven to come and for you to have a child.
Wow.
And how do you answer that?
Exactly.
You know, you don't.
Awesome.
There's just no.
What saw you through those times, or who saw you through those times? What did you hold on to?
It's God. It's God. I'm not sure I'll even be here if not for, you know, sometimes you know, you take things for granted and you look back and, you know, you see yourself. My daughter is in secondary school now, you know, and
she's in a private secondary school, and God is.
I mean, even when her dad passed away, she was in a private junior school, independent junior school, and I had to go back to work because I had to. They were not giving me concession with her school fees. They only, for that term, they only slashed it into half. So the next September I had to pay full fees, and you know how fees are. Yeah. So I had to go back to work in August. And when I went back to work, I remember I was telling someone, like, I will go into the toilet and cry every 30 minutes. You know, just to see me through that day. You asked God those questions, weren't you? I did. I know that most people say sometimes that, oh, don't ask God, you know. That's why I was saying earlier on that, you know, like people that are bereaved, you know, people just use that word cliche, and you know, it's fine to say some things, but there's some things that are not needed to be heard at particular times. I'm sorry to say, you know, I am a Christian. I believe in God, and I believe that God speaks to me, and I understand His word. This word of like, it is well. What do you know about it? Have you decoded that word? It is well. Yeah, but when do you say those words? Because like, people were telling me it is well, and I would tell them. In fact, there are times that I just want to get out of my house because
at the moment,
you're telling me it is well. I'm saying there is nothing well about what's going on here. You know, so those. This is what I'm saying. You know, you can brew up. You know, so much anger in you, because like, I'll go and question. They'll say, "Oh, you can't question God," and I'll tell them. I said, "If you might not be able to question your own God, but I'll question mine." And this is why I'm saying that, and understanding, because I will go and I'll question my God. Every night I did that, and He would tell. In my dreams, He speaks to me in my dreams, and in my dreams, He would give me. He never gave me the full picture, but He would give me snippets of the picture, and that will soothe me for some period. And then when I get to a stage of where I need a refill, and then He would go again, and He would send. You know, it's
about the relationship, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
about that relationship.
Absolutely.
Irrespective of whatever you went through, which in no way, obviously, I can't even begin to imagine. I'm just thinking about it. You then still went on.
Yeah.
To go on to, you know, you've got your products now after those years.
I think having a child or children is one amazing thing that allows you to just, apart from your faith, because you know that it's not about you alone. You know, and I'm not building something just for me. I'm building it for generations. You know, so, you know, she will obviously, by God's grace, take over and pass it on to, even if she's not interested in, pass it on to her children, build it. So it's, you know, when it doesn't end with you. You look there, and the thing is that, you know, you're not really doing it for yourself alone. You're doing it for lives, to change lives as well. I mean, like the iPad, I mean, I remember that one of the part of the vision of that was that I wanted to be able to give an iPad to a wave palm tablet to someone, to a child, and have all their curriculums in there. Children that could not afford to buy books. And there's so many of them in Africa, so many.
That's a powerful vision.
They cannot afford to buy books. You can interact with them, because we build software, we build applications. You can interact with them on that. I mean, the vision is endless, really. The more you get into it, the more it expands, the more it expands, the more it expands. So, like, you know, that year, 2010, I still couldn't really get, because I had lots of things to sort out, expenses, still trying to, like, you know, get my head around what's going on and balance and all of that. So there was still it was a big struggle. It was a really huge struggle. But I think it was 2011 that I started off again, and immediately I started off. There's someone that I was introduced to, a lawyer who is now my lawyer. And you know, when someone just meets you and sees an amazing thing in you, and even what I did not see myself, and I know that they've told me this, like when I first started my first job at Sony Electronics, I remember that when I left and I went to work at the BBC, I got a message from someone saying that Georgina doesn't know exactly what she has. That she has a lot more than she thinks she does. And I thought, I can't even see that myself.
But he was able to see.
And that was the head of a department in Sony at the time. And so I thought, okay. So, you know, he saw a lot in me that I felt that I knew that I could. And I would just go. In fact, at that time, I'd designed like a decoder for Africa.
Right.
I just concentrated on the decoder for Africa
Right.
at the time, a terrestrial decoder. And so when I met him, it was like, you know, I told him, okay, this and this and this. So I showed him that, and he was so in awe of it.
Right.
And so everybody that walked through his
office
was just like, oh, you need to meet this person, you need to meet this person. You know, and he's a very successful lawyer in the city.
I always talk about how God strategically puts people in your way when it gets to that point.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I think when it comes out, I can write a book about it, actually, on a strategic walk. It's amazing because, like, I mean, I've met people that you would just be like, oh, you know, when I mentioned them, and through this person.
So just as we round up, I know that you have 1 or 2 projects that you're doing in terms of supporting other women that have been through what you're doing.
Yes.
And tell us a bit about that, just as we round up.
Okay, so we have well, it's not a company, it's just an organization.
Right.
It's called Helping Hands for Women of Treasure.
I like that.
We've
Women of Treasure.
Yes, we've been active on it, but not very active. But we are going to really start full force on that.
Okay. And what do you do, really?
It's really I had that burden for, you know, for what I've been through, and there's some women out there that just do not know what to do. You know, good women that just do not know what to do, and you know, they found themselves in that situation. Right. So it's being able to empower those women, single moms. So in fact, I started off like thinking it was like widows only, but it's not only widows.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, there might be widowers even there. You know, that just don't know what to do. Exactly.
And there's usually, well, not. I was going to say there's a lot of focus on women.
There's women, but also the children.
Thank you so much for coming. Okay, thank you for being a blessing. And thank you for what you're doing, reaching out to other women.
Thank God.
And thank God for using you as an instrument to, you know, reach out to others.
Thank God.
Better years ahead.
Amen. Can I just add, please, that apart from the tablets, we also have a phone. It's called Wave Phone.
Okay.
We are also getting into medical electronics.
What's that? Okay.
Medical electronics, which means like we're doing lots of stuff on blood pressure, because we think that is.
That's true. Blood pressure all over the place is just becoming.
Absolutely. So that's something that we kind of like tapped into, and we've just opened our office in Ibadan.
Okay.
So we are speaking to some of our hospitals and stuff. So yeah.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Next week on Story Before Glory.
I've always loved preparing food for our parents. You enhance your skills by doing an MBA or an MSc.